Hello, and welcome to Excuse My ADHD, a podcast for adults with or who think they may have ADHD. I'm your host, Jeanette, and this is my journey. Hello, and welcome to Excuse My ADHD, episode number 17, Changes Part 1. I'm your host, Jeanette, and I am navigating ADHD one distraction at a time. COVID-19 is everywhere, and all we're talking about, so let's just talk about it. Let's talk about how it's affecting us. Today, I just kind of want to vent, really. So I'm going to walk you through some of the changes that we're dealing with here in Kentucky, and I hope by the end of the episode that you'll feel comfortable enough that you'll want to vent to me and let me know what's going on where you are. If you're a first-time listener, thanks for tuning in. And if you're a returning listener, thanks for coming back. Let me just start and say that I'm sorry I flaked on you guys for the last episode, but I'm going to make it up to you now. I'm posting this episode tonight and another one in 2 days, so Wednesday night, then I'll be all caught up. I promise I'm going to try very hard not to do that again. So to start, I wasn't really going to, and I didn't want to make an episode about COVID-19, aka coronavirus, but how could I not? I mean, it's affecting every aspect of our lives right now. You can't turn on the TV, the radio, the internet without seeing or hearing a story about it. Most conversations we have are consumed with how our lives are and how they'll be changed because of this. And so I want to talk about this and how we're coping and how everything that is going on affects us. Well, at least how it's affecting me right now. And it's such a strange new world for all of us. And for those of us with ADHD, how the hell are we managing our symptoms right now? Because I don't feel like I'm managing anything in life right now. So I kind of want to start, I guess, so I live in Kentucky. Our governor is Andy Beshear. And if Mr. Rogers was a governor, then he would be Andy Beshear. Every day at 5 o'clock, he gives a press conference. He gives us just honest, practical update on the state of, our confirmed cases and deaths. He gives updates on what we're doing to prevent the spread in Kentucky. His daily talks have become so popular that their memes have popped up all over, pretty much comparing him to a dad and Kentuckians, his children, that he is protecting from this virus. And I'll share I'll share a link to some of my favorite memes with you guys on the Facebook page and the show notes. They're pretty funny. And it's kind of nice. Kentucky is finally number one in something health-wise that isn't diabetes, prostate cancer, lung cancer. It's actually something good for a change. Or number one, I think, in how we are dealing with our reactions to COVID and how we're taking our measured steps to stop the spread and doing our social distancing and all of the things that we're supposed to do. And I would put all of that on how the governor's office is handling everything. And these daily talks are probably where a lot of that comes from. But see, Governor Beshear, he isn't afraid to make people upset. In fact, he's become like the dad that doesn't get angry, but he shows you how disappointed he is. But at the same time, he will call you out and embarrass your ass in front of all your friends. So when he called for all the gatherings to cease, there was a bingo hall in Pike County that was still operating. If you know anything about bingo halls, they're generally catered to an older audience, which is also the most at risk for hospitalization and death with this virus. They're more vulnerable. Well, he called them out and basically said they're grounded. And he's also called out our legislature for trying to sneak in a bill that would hurt teachers' pensions, slamming them, and, just pretty much bringing to light to everybody exactly what was going on. And as governor, he could call martial law, but he hasn't, and he said that he doesn't want to. But he did call out an individual who tested positive for the virus but refused to self-quarantine, so essentially spreading the virus to other people willingly, knowingly. Governor Bashir put him in his corner real quick with a hall monitor, aka police officer, to make sure that he stayed quarantined. He's also called out bars for staying open and businesses caught bragging about putting employees on unpaid leave. And he acknowledges how hard things are with all of these sacrifices that he's asking us to make. So he's just not telling us to do things. He's asking us to do things, and he's telling us and reinforcing how our actions and our choices can help save lives. I don't know how familiar everybody is with the Bible Belt. We're kind of right in the middle of it. It's kind of, Kentucky, Tennessee, the Carolinas, Virginia, West Virginia. Then it kind of goes down to Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia. But the churches are a really strong knit community. And, Sunday fellowship and worship are very strong community bonds that they have. And on Sundays, he's pretty much asked people to refrain from going to church and holding in-person worship services and fellowship on Sundays and, like Bible studies and everything, but has challenged the churches instead to get creative and think outside of the box for different ways to get together. So now we have this insane concept here that people under normal circumstances would just look at you like you're crazy. But it may not seem like a big deal to so many people, but here it really is. And the churches have done an amazing job adapting to our new reality. There have been services held at drive-thrus with families staying in their vehicles, services streamed online. So, there's still those few that aren't heeding the warnings, and they've been called out. They've been called out and punished, I guess, or at least, told how disappointed the governor was in them. But so many are doing their part. And they have been praised for the good job that they're doing. But the governor keeps telling us that we need to do better, that we can do better, that we need to do better for, our grandparents and for our families. And so that the parishioners in those churches will be here at Christmas. And when you think of it that way, I think it really hits home. And that's why so many people are willing to make these sacrifices. And he keeps telling us that things will get better, but is also a realist in that he makes sure we know that, yes, they're going to get worse first, but that we can make through. And that when we do make it through, we'll be more resilient and we'll be stronger and more united than we've ever been. And it's true, we will. And, the political climate, no matter what side you're on, everybody, I think, can agree that things have felt really divided in the past few years. And this is a time where we can all come together. And another constant, something else that he brings up all the time, and it's kind of gotten funny, is the graph that shows the Spanish flu outbreak in 1918 and how early social distancing made a significant difference between how St. Louis and Philadelphia were affected. So the model, it basically shows how Philadelphia responded very poorly and had this huge spike in people in mortality. But in St. Louis, they responded really well with social distancing, and they had a small bump, and then it started to go down, but then they lifted their social distancing early, and they had a little bit of a spike nowhere near what Philadelphia had, but then they had a sharp decline. So he shows this model pretty much every day, says we want to be St. Louis. We don't want to have this number of deaths. We want to be St. Louis. But then he's also, he goes through this spiel, and you could almost memorize the speech because there's so many elements to it that are the same. And I think that works in his favor, and it helps people feel more calm and not so anxious. But he does things kind of in this order. He goes and he shows the good in our state coming from everything. Like, we have all these hashtags together, Kentucky and Patriot and Healthy at Home, KY. I can't remember what they all are, but it shows pictures and videos of people doing social distancing at home and having fun and trying to make the best of it. So, start with something good and uplifting. Show how our numbers are lower than anyone else around us. So we're kind of like this bubbled state where all of the states around us have triple, quadruple, 8 times the amount of cases that we do because of what we're doing and the sacrifices that we're making. And then he keeps us informed and honestly tells us, this is how many new cases we have, how many overall cases we have, here's how many deaths we have, gives the ages, the number in each county. And Kentucky has 121 counties, I believe. That's a lot of counties to go through. But then he does his spiel to keep us calm and talks about how resilient we are, brings us together, shows how he cares when he talks about the number of deaths that are happening. And you can see it's in his face and it's in the way he speaks that he genuinely cares. Started having all of us, the bells, if you have a bell that tolls at 10 a.m. to show your respect for those that have passed away, and green lights, everybody's lighting their homes up green and ordering green lights for their porches to show solidarity as well. And it reminds us how strong and resilient we are and that things are going to get better. I guess the point I'm trying to make here is that I am lucky to live in a state with a governor who is taking this as seriously and trying to get us through it with the smallest amount of casualties possible. He states over and over how important mental health is right now and how we need to still do all we can to stay healthy through trying to maintain some sort of routine for ourselves and especially our kids. And the governor's, he's got this calm, reassuring tone that makes you feel confident in what's going on. And in a time of chaos, that's exactly what is needed. So I'm proud to be a Kentuckian. Even through all of this, there are the good things. You've got bourbon distilleries that have stopped or slowed production of bourbon, and now they're making hand sanitizer. Toyota and other manufacturers across the state have started supplying respirators for the hospitals. Another Kentucky business was recently mentioned that they're now producing 2,000 tests a day for us and having a 24-hour turnaround time, which compared to some of the others, somebody I know was tested 12 days ago and she was already 12 days into being sick, and it took 12 days for the test to come back. It was negative, but at that point she was already on her way to recovery. So, she could have had the virus, but the viral load would have been so low, possibly, who knows? And I feel like there's a lot of that going on. But, the country's doing the best they can. There's just a lot of demand with so many people being sick. You've got New York especially. But then, it is what it is. So the state's even, encouraging people to apply for Medicaid and unemployment benefits. Every day they've changed the law, so now small businesses and independent contractors can get unemployment benefits, which they couldn't before. it just goes to show how much they care about the people and have added, tons of people to process all of these new claims, to get checks out. It's just amazing how quickly and how smoothly everything's going. And even if it's not going smoothly, at least you know what the status is because they're telling you what the status is every day. They're not making something up or just letting it go. They're like, okay, we told you this was going to happen, but here's the hiccups we're having, and this is what we're doing to fix it and when it's going to be fixed. So I feel like there's a lot of confidence there. They're trying to erase the stigma of people applying for unemployment and Medicare that, at a time like this, everybody needs healthcare. It doesn't matter who you are. Everybody needs healthcare. And right now, especially, they're doing all that they can to relieve stress and anxiety and the uncertainty we're all going through. And with all of that, I guess, what are some of the things that your state government's going through or your national government is doing to protect you? We don't hear a whole lot of, especially some of the other countries, what's going on. The main focus has always been China and Italy, of course. But there's people from everywhere, and the virus is everywhere. So what are some of the good, the bad, the ugly of what's going on with your neighbors, especially the good? How are you guys practicing social distancing? What are some of the examples in your community of people helping out other people? What are some of the companies doing for their employees that are good? And how are you staying healthy at home? And most importantly, what are you doing for your mental health at home? Okay, I know you're sitting there and you're thinking, what the hell is going on? And what does any of this have to do with how I'm navigating my ADHD through all of this? We're 16 minutes in. But I feel like it is very important that we have leaders that we can put our trust into in times like this, when everything's just been flipped on its head. 2 months ago, I was at work, and now I'm working full-time at home and homeschooling my kids. That's huge change that nobody ever saw coming, I don't think. So having our leaders that we can trust alleviate some of this anxiety of the unknown. Like for me, having my governor to give me a calm, science-based update and stand up there and be emotional when mourning his constituent's death, and to be able to show pride and call attention to the good things going on in our community, it brings hope. But it's also consistent. I know every day at 5 o'clock, I can depend on a COVID update that isn't worried about fake news or people getting up to thank the governor profusely so later they can get kickbacks or something. I'm getting an hour of good, bad, and answers. So, they save them till the end. The last 15, 20 minutes is just questions from the community, questions from the journalists. And I need that. I need that stability because right now, like I said, everything else is all topsy-turvy. I look forward to listening to his update and seeing who he's going to call out. It's kind of like a game. Seeing, is he going to wear khakis and a polo or a button down and jeans? Because he started out, he had like a suit and tie on and everything was like what you would normally see. But like over this weekend, it was a polo and jeans. Today it was a button down and jeans. It's fun to watch. And you could make a drinking game out of it. And there's even a bingo card meme floating around with all of the consistent phrases that he uses over and over again. But the sad thing is that when his talk is over and the news flips to the White House's turn, it's like I can't make myself watch it. To me, the White House one, aside from Dr. Fauci, it feels like a train wreck. There's just been so much miscommunication or cross messages. And I feel like the federal government is maybe a little late in how serious they're taking things. Watching just causes me anxiety. So I turn it off or walk away. I'll try and not do more than 5-10 minutes of it. Before this all started, though, everything was kind of already a hot mess for me. So on top of all of the COVID changes, I was already in the midst of a bunch of crazy, which is part of why I missed that last episode. But so my day job, my budget season, which is my busiest time of year, kicks off in like November, December, depending on when we get started. But then it really gets in high gear in January and runs through May. And I also like to refer to this time as the 7th level of hell, but I digress. So adding to that, I decided, okay, this is going to be a good time to apply for a new job because I am tired of it. 3 years of this job and budget season, I was done and fed up to the point where my attitude was so bad at work that I was not being fair to my employees because I was so upset with how things were run above my head. But anyway, the hiring process for universities isn't usually that fast. It's usually pretty slow and long and frustrating. And so I thought I had all kinds of time, that it would probably time out perfectly. As soon as my budget was done, then I would start the interview process. Yeah, no. I applied for the job just over a week later. On a Monday, received a call to schedule my first in-person interview for that Friday. The next Monday or Tuesday, I received a call for my second in-person interview for that Thursday. It was moving along hyper speed. Like, I had inside sources tell me that they were looking for a hire immediately, which meant they would want me to start immediately. And when I finally received the offer, I was only able to give a 2.5-week notice at my current job. Like, typically, I've always given like 30 days, a month or whatever. So that was in February. And my first day at my current job was March 2nd. So I have spent a grand total of 25 days at my new job, really 26 now. And of those 25 days, only 10 have been spent actually in my new office. Luckily, they packed my calendar those first 2 weeks, and I met most of the people that I'll be working with and interacting with. So I had meetings with all of my departments. I had to create budgets for, because yes, I went from one budget hell to another budget hell. But this one was much easier. I finished my budget last week, and it was way easier than the one I was doing before. So now my office is at the end of my dining room table, with my daughter's new first grade classroom at the other end of my dining room table. I will try and post a picture for you guys so you can see exactly what kind of crazy I'm dealing with. And I'm sure many, many, many of you out there are dealing with the same thing. So to top all this off, some of the other changes that I'm going through that are causing ADHD meltdown in my brain. So I already said that my kids' classroom is at the dining room table. So they shut down all the schools. We're homeschooling our kids now, or what they're referring to as NTI, non-traditional instruction is what they call it. I call it, I am now the substitute teacher. Week 2, the first week, I skipped one. The first week they included packets, which, the packets I felt like were hard enough because they also had a couple of things online and I had no idea what they were doing. And so they were constantly bringing their packets to me, asking me questions. Well, week 2, they switched to all online assignments because there wasn't enough transition going on in week 1. They thought we needed more. Kids don't act at homeschool like they do at school. Kids don't eat at homeschool like they eat at school. Their stomachs have quadrupled. They have like stomachs of a cow. So look it up. Cows have 4 stomachs. I have no idea where they are putting all the food, but I swear I buy groceries every 2 days. My husband and I are both working from home, so we both have conference calls that we have to do. And now, because we can't see people in person, everybody wants to do in-person or video chats. So now, I'm thinking, homeschool. I don't have to brush. I don't have to fix my hair. I can just have it in a ponytail. I can wear my pajamas all day. No. Mm-mm. Most days, yeah. But then I have video conference days where I have to actually look like a normal human being and have like work hair face done and a shirt, but still wearing my leggings. That's not going to change. My kids and I have all been sick with colds, with strep, and oh yeah, now it's spring, so thank you, pollen. We have allergies to contend with too, but you cough and you get the, oh, you have COVID look. People keep making runs on the grocery stores, getting essential items almost impossible to get. And I know everybody's had this problem. I've seen pictures all over from people I know on Facebook with their grocery stores having empty shelves. So, what are the things that everybody's out of? Toilet paper. And I have literally been trying to get toilet paper for 3 weeks to no avail. Look, please, please, please stop hoarding the toilet paper. I don't know how other families are, but there's 5 of us in this house and 3 of us are girls. I'm going to need some soon. Luckily, I had just bought an extra pack before this all started and thought we were going to be good for a while. But now I'm starting to get worried because for 3 weeks, there has been no toilet paper every time I've been to the grocery store. Paper towels. After about a week and a half, those started stocking back up, and they're not very stocked, but you can still get toilet paper or paper towels. I don't understand why there's a run on paper towels, because I don't know if people are using paper towels because everybody's out of toilet paper, but the paper towels are gone. Clorox wipes. So we had 4 canisters of Clorox wipes, and now we're starting to run out. And again, none have been available for like 3 weeks. Tissues. These were all swiped out at first, but now they're easier to find. So thank you for not hoarding these like toilet paper and paper towels. Cleaning supplies. Anything with bleach in it has been gone. And I'm about out of my Clorox cleaning spray, which hasn't been stocked again for 3 weeks. And this is what I use to clean my showers. I've always used it. So this isn't like a new thing for me. But apparently for everyone else, they've just discovered Clorox and bleach and cleaning products. So please, what were you all cleaning your houses with before? Use that. You don't need to hoard this stuff. Just buy it normally. And hand sanitizer. This one, hand sanitizer. Okay, so first of all, to all the assholes out there who hoarded the hand sanitizer and all of the other products and were trying to price gouge online, you know where you're going. There is a special place for you. But seriously, I have some, so, I've not been so worried about this, but my question is, why is all of the hand sanitizer gone? But no one has made a run on hand soap. The one thing that everybody can agree on is that the best thing to do is wash your hands. Wash, like soap and water, 20 seconds, rubbing all of your hand surfaces to stay clean. But yet there's not been a run on hand soap, just sanitizer. Folks, that is only a temporary thing that you should use if you cannot wash your hands. Quit buying all the hand sanitizer and buy some freaking soap. Wash your hands. Everybody. Only use the hand sanitizer if you cannot wash your hands. And the last one, SpaghettiOs. Y'all, look. Y'all need to quit eating all the SpaghettiOs. Let everybody else get some too. I got 3 kids. It's been 3 weeks before I could get some. I finally got some. My poor kids have been begging me for some freaking SpaghettiOs. Share the love, people. Grocery shop like you normally do, and we won't run out of things. Oh, what else has changed? Oh, cooking all the meals at home. Planning meals. I can't. This is so hard because there are all of these things I want to make, but I know my kids won't eat it. And I get really tired of the, ew, that's gross. That looks disgusting. I'm not eating that. That smells gross. And before you start with your, oh, my kids wouldn't act like that, or I don't care, I just want them, they wouldn't do. Guys, mind your business. I just want my kids to eat. Preparing meals, ugh. Plating meals for everyone. It's like dinner's ready and everybody's asking me, oh, I'm hungry. When is dinner going to be ready? When are you going to be done? And I'm like, oh, it's just a few minutes. And then when it's ready, nobody wants to come eat. And then they complain when it's cold. I don't know what to do. And then cleaning up after meals, ugh, I don't want to do it either. So it's like by the time I get done trying to figure out what to give everybody, fix the food, get everybody's plate, eat my food, clean up after everybody, it's like an hour later, I feel like I got to do it again. Cleaning the house. Okay, don't judge me. We pay someone to come clean the house once a month because between, work and school, commuting, extracurricular, my son's always in sports, I'm exhausted. And on the weekends is, always doing the laundry and trying to spend time playing with my kids because I don't get to spend time with them during the week because everything's so crazy. And sometimes I just want to rest and then get all the things done that I haven't had time to do over the week. So I don't know about you guys, but it's just so many things have changed and so many new transitions have happened, and I'm trying to deal with it the best I can. I've kind of not been dealing with it for the last 3 weeks. I don't know what you guys have been doing, but I think I'm kind of at the point where that's going to change. So for now, I think I'm going to make this end. I've probably killed you guys. And if you're even still listening, I think this has more been kind of a mental health check for me, venting and getting it out. So that's what I'm doing today. I'm just trying to get it out. And in the next episode, I'm going to not be such a Debbie Downer, but what I do want to talk about in the next episode is how that there are, some of the good things and how we can manage all of this change. I think about the song, when I think about all of these changes, I think about David Bowie and the song Changes. I mean, one of the phrases is time to turn around and face the strange. How fitting is that right now? We're definitely facing the strange. And I think I'll leave it there. So until next time, keep hanging in there and social distancing and staying healthy at home. Remember that it will end and we will get back to a normal routine. But for now, start thinking about how you can get back to that normal routine at home. And next week, 2 days, we'll talk about some of the things that we can do to do that. So I will see you guys then. Thank you for listening to Excuse My ADHD. If you like what you hear, don't forget to please subscribe, rate, and leave an awesome review. Show notes and social media links are available at www.excusemyadhd.com. Until next time.